Welcome back to UKSG Autumn 2022. We are raising money for Crisis, a charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training and support with housing, employment and health. 90% of your donations will go to the charity and 10% will go towards putting on future events. Now, we have a dragon that is wanted by the Confederation of Dragons for rebellion against them. It's the one, the only Rebel Dragon with Lost Judgment.
Alright, thank you. So my name is RebelDragon95. This is Lost Judgment. This is basically a spin-off of the Yakuza series that RGG Studios make. It's a game where we play as a detectives who work for a detectives agency. So into a little bit more as we go into it. So it's got very similar mechanics to other Yakuza games, but you'll see more and more of them as we go through. Right, you ready to go? Right, so we'll start time in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, cool. So, this is the Kaito files. This is a DLC that they released very recently, within the last 6 or so months, based around one of the game's secondary characters called Kaito. The original main game for this is like a 2.5 hour speed run, and this is like a nice short, like 1 hour run. Yeah, and in classic Yakuza fashion, we get flung straight into a chase section. So this is Sendo we're chasing. Oh god, what the hell is the story thing here? Basically, a lady asks us to investigate a dodgy detective agency, and this is us outing him, and then he stole the voice recorder that we used to gain evidence against him, and now we've got to chase him down. So I'm just going through short chase section. I know where all the QTEs are and what all the QTEs are in this. This is basically an auto scroller. We just got to get the QTEs right, and then at the end we get to drop kick him, which is always fun. So this is actually this game is actually a sequel to another game called Judgment, which is was like one of the first spin-offs they did. So this uses the same dragon engine that they created for Yakuza 6 onwards. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to see some dragon engine shenanigans, because this game does like to ragdoll, and it does like to completely destroy everything that you know in terms of logic. Cool, I'm gonna drop kick him. And then he draws a voice recorder. Alright, cool. Oh, let's get the cutscenes, please. Alright. He takes us into their dodgy agency, and then we get to fight some guys. So, Kaito here is very similar to Kiryu in Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza 0. So, I'm trying to avoid specific animations with these guys. Cool, that was an okay fight. So something that I was doing throughout that, I was dodging out of all my moves. When you're locking onto enemies, you can dodge cancel any animation. So doing that, you can basically make yourself free from like anything. And throughout the run, I'll be doing various different things with it to make sure that combat goes all smoothly. All right, this is just Kaito having a discussion with Hoshina about that case. And now Kaito here wants to go for a drink because Yagami's out of town dealing with a divorce case that's gone sour. So he's asking all his friends if they want to go drinking with him, and they're all like, nah dude, we're too busy. So our boy here decides to go for a drink by himself. Alright, cool. Oh, lovely, I fell down the stairs. Alright, so this is telling you about Kaito's different mechanics with investigation mode. He has smell and audio sensing capabilities for some reason. Yeah, he just has enhanced hearing and smell compared to every other character. Alright, cool. That's just there looking at a crime scene. I don't remember the crime scene, but we're going to go into the bar and say hi to these characters. If you play Judgment, you'll know these characters' names. I've forgotten them. Yeah. Alright, so this is Kyoya Sadamoto. He's asking us to look into a case to find his wife. Unfortunately, Kaito has to decline because of personal reasons. And this is the only time, one of the only times we get to see Higashi, who is one of the coolest characters in this little side series. Oh, cool. That's the end of the prologue. And now we're in Chapter 1, which is just one fight, and then we're done with Chapter 1. Right, so something really cool that they did in Lost Judgment is they gave us the ability... No, it was in Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon, where they gave the ability to taxi from the menu, from the pause menu. But you had to go unlock the taxis. In this game, yeah, the taxis are just all there, and you don't need to worry about it. So I'm going to quickly grab some stuff. And then we're going to go to Park Boulevard, because we need to go into Charles. And if you play any, like, the first Judgment game, yeah, you go to this arcade, like, every 5 minutes to talk to Higashi for various reasons. He's having trouble with some boys, so we're going to unlock Kaito's second fighting style now, which is basically Kiryu's Beast from Yakuza 0 and Yakuza... Find me. Cool. You can do that fight in a couple of ways. You can pick up the bench and hit them with it, but I'm a little bit better with doing it with the ashtray instead. Alright, so that's the end of Chapter 1. Right. So, Chapter 2 starts off with a little bit of a background about the woman in question that Sadamoto guy was asking us to look into. This is Mikiko, who is pretty much Kaito's ex-girlfriend, which is why he decided to decline the case, because it was a bit too personal for him, but then he ends up looking into it anyway. So now we're going to smell some red bean paste down here. Select evidence is the red bean paste, and then the shirt. And that's just him diffusing the situation from her going nuts. This is a bit later on when she's working for the hostess company to earn back some money that her sister owed, which is why that entire situation was happening. But we're just going to pick up a bike and do the classic Yakuza. And that's... I wanted to stay in tank at the end there, but it really just wasn't working out for me. But that's fun. If you get lucky there, they don't blow up the sign that's behind them, and you can use the sign to finish off, because the bike doesn't have enough durability to get rid of all of them. Right, so, now we're talking to this kid. This kid's called Jun Sadamoto. It's the guy that we spoke to before. This is his son. And because of some stuff that his mum wrote in like a diary, he thinks that Kaito is his dad, when Kaito just isn't. So now he wants Kaito to go look into finding his mum, because if I remember correctly, she was presumed dead, and they found out that she isn't. Cool, wait a second. Hopefully I don't run into the side. Cool, I didn't. Right. So we have to talk to this guy because we recognize him from being there when we were here before. Now he's listening to music, so what we're going to do to wake him up is we're going to grab the megaphone, we're going to shout him. And yeah, that wakes him up. Alright, so now here's the Aragaki brothers. Hopefully they move into the right position here, because a lot of the time they don't. So we're going to go over here. We're going to... Oh, I need to buy that. And buy that. They did not go in the right way, but that's fine. That's fine. Oh, because I got hit by that move, I'm going to struggle for a second here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pick up this thing. I'm going to run up to him. There we go. That's what I wanted to do with the bike, but I got the spin attack instead. Alright, cool. So, This guy tells us about one of Mikiko's old friends is running a bar. So we're going to go up there. We're going to go to the Champion District. This is another area where if you play other Yakuza games, you spend a lot of time running through the Champion District. Oh, and yeah, so this is just a quick fight with some of these guys. Something else in this game. So in a lot of the modern Yakuza games, there is usually speed differences between the English and the Japanese dubs. In the main any percent of this game, English is faster by 40 seconds because of how dialogue works in Japanese, where they take longer to say words than they do in written. So there's a bit where there's unskippable dialogue that's spoken, and that ends up being faster just playing English. In Kaito, because of weird animation glitches, it's faster to just play in Japanese because there's no unskippable like dialogue anywhere. So yeah, we get to hear the Japanese for this, but if you ever see a main game run, we will run in English. Alright, so I'm going to use Kaito's amazing sense of smell to pull that out of the bin. Oh, so something that I should have heard. You don't need to do this, but if you see fighters in this game, you can just pull out your drone and that will despawn them for you. It usually resets their positioning, so it depends on where they are. But with this one, if they do see you, that's a loading trigger. If you run into loading triggers while in combat in this game, the combat just gets cancelled. So if you get caught by any of those guys, you can just run away normally. Alright, so we're running around Kamurocho trying to gather a bit of evidence to get any leads on finding Jun. That's the kid's name, Jun. Trying to find his mum. So we talk to this little kid. She tells us something about the cleaning lady. Oh, I forgot about that. She tells us about the cleaning lady. So we're going to go find the cleaning lady. And she is down here cleaning. Alright, so she tells us if we get the cat down, she'll give us information. So we're going to grab the drone. We're going to go annoy the cat to move it. And now she'll tell us what we need to know. And here is Sender. Sender's back with the boys again. But we're just going to run over here. Switch styles. Grab that. And just kind of... I need more damage on this guy, so we're going to grab the bike real quick. I do. Heat mode, so I do more damage. And out of all these finishers, I'm dodge cancelling, so to cancel the animation lag. There you go, easy. That was a pretty good fight. Right. So now we're going to go do a quick investigation of the Sender detective agency. No, the Bato, not the Sender's just that dude. He's just the guy that works for it, sorry. All the characters. Right, so before I go in there, you're probably used to Yakuza games having double finishers. Here's Kaito's double finisher. It's just attached to a door. So there's his double finisher, which we'll buy in a minute. Alright, I'm going to run over here. This is the box we need. It's got a telephone number of a moving agency. There's like multiple phone numbers in this room, but this is the only one that you need. That's the end of the investigation. And it tells you where their new offices are. And their new offices is in the what's it called? The KJ Art Building or something it's called. It's basically a building you go to a lot in the first Judgment game to talk to a Yakuza member in there. Or to fight him normally, because, you know, this is a Yakuza game, so we do punch people. Just make sure they don't ruin my thing, because I can't remember if this activates correctly if you're in a fight. So just quick despawn them. You can also despawn enemies by save loading as well, but that's slower than just opening the drone. So this is a stealth section. Kaito here actually has a lot better stealth sections than Yagami, because he can pretty much ignore being stealthy. Alright, so we're going to talk to that one. That one. Then we need to go over here, talk to that one. Is it that investigation? So now we're going to run up to the door. This is like a self door opening animation where you hit the guy with the door. But you can skip the first one for some reason. You can't skip any of the other ones, but that one, yeah, that one's fine to skip. We're all good on that one. So you have to go in there and activate that voice line there, or it doesn't let you move on. There's a free wristbands here. I could have brought one in the shop, but the money route doesn't really work out if I remember correctly, so just picking those up is easier. Right, so normally you have to throw coins to get these guys to get distracted and take them up, and Kaito can just get seen by them and punch them instead. Because Kaito doesn't care. Right, so do that. Do that. This one's a smell. Do that. This one's a... Do that. I want to end as close to that door as possible. See, I can't skip this one, so you have to sit through this one. Right, I'm going to be doing a very similar thing in the next room, so Panda, if you've got anything you need to say, feel free to go ahead.
Yes, we would like to thank BSG for supporting this marathon. They hold bi-monthly gatherings in the Netherlands and have supported us from the beginning by spreading the word and providing us with a channel to stream on in past seasons. Amongst with other things, their next regular events will be announced in the near future, and they're also opening up their platform for people to run their own shows with their new BSG Sprints program. If you're interested, feel free to pitch your show at sprints@bsgmarathon.com.
Alright, cool. Alright, so we need to grab this key or we can't move on. Something there as well. After you've hit those guys with those doors, if you run through the door, Kaito reopens the door as if it was closed in front of him, so you have to, like, walk through it. Alright, there's another guy here. You have to go really wide to avoid the stealth thing there, or you do get stuck in it. There you go, he destroys that guy. Right, I'm going to do a quick menu here because I need to buy some stuff to... I need that one. I need that one. I need that one. Need double finisher. That one. Cool, that's the end of the stealth. That's the first stealth we do in this run. Right, so this is the Fudo the Killer. He appears in a few side stories in these games, so... Now this is his launcher, and then we can cancel his launcher into different stances. Because you can cancel any of your moves in this game into your stance changes, so we do that all the time. Cool. If you get grabbed by that guy, he does an awful amount of damage to you, and you basically get destroyed. Alright, there we go. Just trying to make sure you don't get grabbed by that guy, because he puts you in a really long QTE that you... Well, it's not even a QTE, it's just a cutscene where he beats you up. And you take, like, so much damage. So the reason why you're in that building is because Jun got kidnapped by the Bato Detective Agency. So we went to get him back, and now he's jumped out the window and ran away, so we have to go find... he told us to meet him somewhere, but we have to find him again. We have someone tailing us, but if we change in front of everyone... He's stood by that wall, and he doesn't see that you change into a costume, and then you just get away. Absolutely the most sense. Right, so we go to Theatre Alley. Right. So one lucky thing about having taxiing from the menu, so a lot of other Yakuza games have like the issue of dealing with more and more fight spawns. Because we can taxi from the menu, we can just kind of like fast travel everywhere where we need to go at any point, and it does... Like, it makes these runs so much more, like, execution-based in, like, the boss fights and the set pieces, because there's way less downtime of us running around places. Right, so now we're going to return to the Yakuza Detective Agency. Right, another funny piece of speed tech is we want to open doors from the middle. I didn't get the right animation there, because opening doors from the middle saves 2 seconds over pushing them from the left or the right, because the animation's longer. So Kaito here discovers that the smoke coming from his office is not the brand of cigarettes that he smokes. So he says, someone else is in there, let's go take a peek with the drone. And what we find is the Bato agency guys have broken into the agency, so we just call the police on them. And then during this time, this is when the cleaning lady found the note that she said that she had somewhere, and we find out about this doctor called Shirakawa, who was also looking for the same person that we're now looking for. And that's the end of Chapter 2. So Chapter 3, we're going to go and say hi to Shirakawa. Right, so this is a bit in the past where Kaito is just having a nice conversation with Mikiko here. You can be a real jerk here and talk about going to kill people, like, before you say that the food's really nice or that, like, she looks really, really pretty. And be like, yeah, so I'm going to kill people tomorrow, but you also look very nice. But we do nice guy Kaito, and we do that bit last. Alright, so he asks us how we found out about him. We say the cleaning lady outed you. Then we're going to do a quick investigation inside his house here, where we're going to look at this bag. Then we're going to go look at this photo. We'll look at the photo real quick, and then we're going to go look at the bag, and then we're going to go look at the date. So we know where it's taken. And it was after the date when people thought that she had died. So we know that something happened to her. And it turns out she I can't remember the exact situation, but I think she got pushed down a waterfall or something, and she got amnesia. Classic story tropes over here. Classic, absolute classic. Right. So while we're having our conversation, this guy and the lads rock up to cause a ruckus. So we're gonna punch him because that's what we do around here. But before I punch him, I need to buy attack level 3 so we do major damage. And I'm gonna just focus on this guy for a second because he has the most health and he can actually... Oh, that definitely worked. And that should kill him. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to dodge out of everything. Hit that guy, that's fine. Just to make sure these guys are fine. If I run out of heat, it doesn't really matter because I need to build it back up anyway. I got no doubles during this fight, so you're trying to get multi-kills in this. That was very slow, but you're trying to get multiple enemies to line up into your first, like, the ragdolls, the first body slam you do, but if you don't get that, then it really doesn't work out. Right, so this is Kenmochi. Kenmochi is a hilarious character. He's basically just a drunk that pulls a that just pulls a lamppost out and tries to hit you with it. So, right, that juggle really didn't work, but that's fine. Alright, cool. Alright, that was a really, really, really good fight. So now we're going to block the concrete with our elbow, because of course. So we're going to have a quick fight for the lamppost here. It starts with circle, then it's triangle, square, then it's triangle, and circle again. And if everything's done right here, you throw him off the lamppost. And there we go. Sometimes it plays all the... I can't remember the failure animation for that, but I think it plays all that stuff, and then he just pushes you off of it, and you got to like do more HP damage to him, and then it starts again. But yeah. So yeah, that's the end of Kenmochi. We'll see Kenmochi again. He's a really cool character. He's just an absolute like wild card. Right. So that was Shirakaba asking us about whether we have regrets about what happened with Mikiko when they broke up. So now we got to go back to Tenkichi Street because we hear a building's on fire. I'm going to take a quick trip here. And Kaito here decides let's go into the building because of course. But there's a lovely back entrance here because we can't go in the front entrance because the police are all there and all the fire people are there. So we're going to go in the back entrance. And we found out the fire was started by Kenmochi's group, the Crimson Lotus. This guy here is very annoying. That's better. Oh, this guy's the worst sometimes. That was fine after everything worked out there. That guy's annoying. He really just likes to spam attacks at you. And if you don't get your repel at the right time, which is sometimes really annoying to do. What's wrong? Also, something else I love in this game as well, when I actually get to hear it, dude, the music in this game is just actually legit so good. Right. Oh. Hopefully this next guy ragdolls, because I love it when this guy does. So there's a guy that comes up the stairs with a gun and tries to shoot you. But now we don't have that. We're just going to punch and ragdoll him a little bit. There he goes. Alright, cool. Alright, now we go around here. There's another 2 guys with guns that try and shoot us, but we don't have that either. Just smack those guys a little bit. If you line up yourself correctly, if you take a second to do it, you can get a double on those guys, but normally it takes... it's not the most consistent thing, so I just go for the singles on both most of the time. Alright, so this is a guy with a katana. And... just to do as much damage as possible, because my juggle didn't work. There we go. Right. So now all these guys rock up. These guys all have guns, but we don't really care about that. What we're going to do is we're going to run up here, activate heat mode, grab the bin, and just go nuts on them. There we go. Stamina X is quite nice, actually. That heals your HP and your heat bar a little bit. If you get really, like, lucky with the way those guys get positioned, they'll fly down to the closer to the door, and the closer you are to the door, the more kind of optimal the fight was, depending on what happened. Oh, I hate that so much. It stays black for so long, but you can skip it, like, after, like, a few seconds. Right, so, Kyoya here comes to, talk to Kaito again about Jun, because he's also looking for Makiko. Alright, so now we need to go up King Tenkichi Street, and yes, taxiing up here is faster than walking the, like, 20 seconds it takes to walk to where we need to go. Right, so we're going to go back into the burning building to investigate it, to see what happened. But in order to do that, we need to get past the police, so we need to do another stealth section here. This stealth section is very annoying. If you fail... like, if you get seen, it's very annoying to get back on track or back in control because the cycles all get really out of whack. So I'm going to probably take a little bit of a second just to make sure that I'm all fine here. Oh, that guy should turn around about now. There he goes. Now I can run. If that guy's on that cycle, this guy should be... there he is. You need this guy to be walking towards you, then he'll turn around and walk back. And then I have to wait for the door to shut a little bit, because that means he's far enough away that if I leg it out the building, he won't see me. Because if you run too early, he will just see you and you'll insta-fail. So now I can go. Now he won't see me. So there's this guy here now who will start walking when you get close. And you can just kind of walk right behind his ass. But if you get too close or you touch him, he will just insta-see you and you will fail. You've got to be very careful. I also didn't grab the checkpoint either, so if you fail it now, you go back to the start of the stealth. Got to throw that there. So you throw the coin to distract these guys, because unlike the Yakuza and the Thug members, Kaito won't hit the policeman when they see him. He'll just get caught. This guy here is kind of annoying to get around because of the angle that you have to run. I'm probably going to walk a little bit and then run to make sure I get the right angle, because otherwise he will just insta-see you. Yeah, there we go. Right, so now we're into the burn building. So that's the end of Stealth 2. Right, so... Kaito here has hearing of a god, because he can hear a hard drive whirring. I need to look at that. He can look at it from a mile away. That drawer is locked, stuck, so we need the crowbar to open the drawer. Oh, look at the thing, please. Kaito, look at the thing. Thank you. Kaito, look at it. Thank you. Right, the code here is 413625. I forget where you even get the code. I just know what the code is. It's somewhere in the room, obviously, but, like... I just forget. I just know what the code is. There's another code like it in the main game where you have to go through, like, 3 fights to get a code. But if you just know the code, you can type it into the door and it'll let you through. Right, so now he's sending the broken hard drive to Tsukumo to try and see if he can fix it and extract the information from it. Tsukumo is a character from Judgment who is the tech guy for these, it's like the tech person for these guys. Right, so now we're heading over to Kenmochi Realty. I can't talk, Realty. The real estate agents that Kenmochi runs as a front for his like thug group. Alright, so now we get into this game's one and only tailing section. So Judgment is known for some very slowly paced tailing sections where we'll like follow a guy, and this is this DLC is one of them. This first couple of bits doesn't really have anything of interest to talk about, so Panda, feel free to go for a couple of minutes.
Yes, I will talk to the lovely people about our incentives. We have Ride the Roller Coaster in Cyberpunk with the one and only Keanu Reeves. We are currently $195 short of that incentive. We have Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, all camos or tux. And that is for them to use just the tuxedo or for them to collect all and use all of the camos. And to upgrade nothing from any percent to 100%, which is $250. Do I have time to talk about the lovely cause that we have?
Yes, you do.
Yes. So we are raising money to support Crisis. A little bit about them in their own words. Every bit of our work is integrated and all of it contributes to our purpose of ending homelessness. The services we provide are carefully informed through our decades of experience of working with the homeless people and research we've carried out over the years. Our research is driven by knowledge from working side by side with homeless people every day, and this influences our campaigning for permanent change.
Alright, so in the tailing sections, there's a lot of things you really have to look out for. You need to look out for like where you're positioned, because if you're too close to him, he'll see you. If you make noises too close to him, he'll hear you. And he has an alert bar in the top right-hand corner. The higher that goes, the more alert he becomes. So I'm trying to keep that as low as possible. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm seeing him, but also not being seen by him. Alright, so there's actually a few things we could do to speed these up. So normally these are incredibly slow, and if you do this entirely casually, this genuinely takes about 8 minutes to complete. It's just the slowest thing ever. But there's a couple of skips that we can do to speed it up by quite a bit. So I'm also taking care to mind out for like objects on the floor and the pedestrians, because if you run into them, they make noises, and obviously he can hear you if noises are made. All right. So the first skip's coming up in a second. Alright, he's turned around. Need to run over here before he turns around. There we go. That was really, really lucky that he didn't get any percentage there. Alright, so now he's going to walk over here. And when he walks over here, he actually walks over towards a thing on the left. And now, because of that, I'm going to run past him. Oh, he's seeing me. It doesn't matter too much. I'll work out in a second. If you do that right, if there's not a car there, he won't see you, but it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, basically the trigger for the fight is just here. So, oh, thank you, Kaito, for not hitting him. Yeah, but the trigger for the fight is basically just right there, so you can run straight to it. The car basically ruined the line I needed, so traffic RNG bodied me there, but that's fine. I think I can do it with 33%. If I can't, it doesn't matter. I'll just lose a little bit of time. By the way, Kaito's hidden right now. The animation glitches here, so if I flick the stick a little bit, he'll go back to crouching. Alright. Just wait for this guy to walk around this corner. One good thing about this tail compared to some of the other ones that exist in Judgment and Lost Judgment is that there's a lot of very straight lines in this one. So this guy will turn around right now, but he can't see me over the bushes walking towards him because of there's like an invisible wall. There's like an invisible wall here, and you can't go through here, so it doesn't exist in his mind. Alright. It's going to be pretty risky doing what I'm about to do, so hopefully it works out. Normally he has like way less on his alert bar. There we go. Right. So before I would like be careful, but no, we're just going to run out here. He's going to see us, and I'm going to have to dip in here for a second so he doesn't see me. And come back out and around. Yeah, that works out. Cool. And yeah, the fight trigger is also here, so he just skips straight to the fight. And that skips him walking all the way down that street and around this corner. And I want to go for that guy, throw this bike on him. There you go. Cool. And you want to stay in tank for the fights after this one, so you want to make sure you're managing your thing. I always pause here. You can't skip these cutscenes until the skip option appears in the bottom right-hand corner. It's one of the only cutscenes we have to wait. Thank you for running into my way there, pedestrian. So I have to be a little bit careful here because his alert meter is quite high. Normally it's around like 50 to 60. Walk up slowly. Right, so the end of the tail section is when he gets to a hotel at the top of this street. And if you remember any of the older Yakuza games, it's actually the hotel you go to fight a boss in Yakuza 3. It's where you go to fight... Oh, what's his name? Kanda, that's his name. Right, he's going to turn around right there. But he can't see me around this corner, so... We'll turn back around by the time I've walked up there. And then I can just run into this wall, and that's the end of the tail section. Cool. Alright, so we're going to go into this hotel after Kemochi, because if I remember correctly, the woman that he's with is the person that we're looking for. So, if I hit, this is where we learn that one-handed weapons in this game are really good. And it just completely destroys everything. Normally in Yakuza games, two-handed weapons are like the king, and in some situations they are. But one-handed weapons in this game are just surprisingly solid, so we use them as much as we can. Wristband. Oh, I forgot to put my items on. No wonder I was doing less damage. It doesn't matter too much. Alright, so there's these guys. We're going to pick this up. Smash this guy with a tree a little bit. There's another one down here, so I don't have to worry about that one too much. And now we're going to go 1, 2, 3. There you go. Alright. I was trying to save my heat bar there. You can just do the heat move there if you want, but I wanted to save the heat bar a little bit. We're going to run in here. So this is Kemochi's room, so we're going to go in here and say hi to Kemochi. And this man's been chilling in the jacuzzi, so he's in his speedos. I'm going to go into heat mode and try and get a launcher. Dodge out of the launcher. Try and do as much damage. Oh my word, he actually got me. I tried to dodge out. Oh yeah, he bites you when he grabs you with this. Being in the jacuzzi is like the worst thing ever. When you're trying to... Alright, that was really weird. When you get stuck in the jacuzzi, it's really awkward to hit him. So... I've got a lovely QTE here. We're going to throw this guy around a little bit and just, like, love the over-the-top, like, fight choreography in Yakuza games. Right, so, luckily, the QTEs in this game are actually consistent, so I know exactly which QTEs are coming up. The only ones which aren't consistent in this game are the ones in the stealth sections when you get caught. So this is square. There's another square coming up. There's a third square coming up, and then this triangle. Cool. There we go. So the reason why we were punching Kamochi there is because the woman that he was with was in fact Mikiko. So now we found Mikiko, and that's the end of chapter 3. So we're actually going into the final chapter of this little DLC. If I can skip the cutscenes, that would be very useful. Right. So we're going to take Mikiko back to the Vato Detective Agency, and they find out that she hired them to not only look into things, but also to protect her son, which is why they basically took him. So we basically beat up the people that were meant to protect her son. So now this is just Kaito asking about all of her things, and we basically find out that Kiyoya Sadamoto is not the person which we think, and he's basically a real bad dude. So yeah, she tells us everything, then she runs away to go kill him, because that's the whole point of her entire scheme here, is to kill that man. And we're just trying to want to throw that on that guy. And that should work on that guy. Right, so this guy here is going to be annoying, so we're going to try and do a throw loop on him. So this is Crippling Pile Driver that we brought earlier. And basically, on certain bosses, you can use it to throw loop them. This guy's one of them. It works kind of well on him. But you can infinite some bosses if they get up in the correct way. And that guy just kind of does sometimes, so you can loop him. So you beat these guys up to get your point across that you won't give up, because that's classic. And then we're going to head back to the detective agency, the Yagami Detective Agency, because that's where we told Jun to go chill while we were sorting the stuff out. Alright. I hate when there's NPCs everywhere. Let's see if I get the animation. Yes! Saved like a second and a half. Let's go. Let's go! Alright, so now Park Boulevard. Alright, we're actually going to the basically the kind of the first point of no return in this game. So Shirokaba is in town and he asks us to go and have a chat with him, but we're just gonna not do that. Yagami tells us that he'll be a few more days before he comes back, because the divorce case is going even worse than what he thought. Those guys are gonna ruin my life if I let them do stuff, so we're gonna despawn them. And here's Sender, so we can talk to Sender.
Kaito.
Like 5 cutscenes we got to skip. So we drag June all the way out here to tell him, no, you can't come with us, mate.
Would you say you returned to Sender?
Basically. Alright. Now we're having a discussion about the fire, and it's to destroy evidence, and the evidence we have to say that is because of the burnt hard drive, and we start asking questions about who this guy is, because he's just kind of appeared and then all these problems happened. And they were talking about a family called the Natsumes, which if I remember correctly, is Mikiko's family. And he killed, well, he basically got the Crimson Lotus to set their house on fire with them inside. To it's either over money, land, or it's one of the options of corruption in the Yakuza games. Is one of them. All right, so we need to sneak into this party. So we're going to look at a waiter and go, yeah, we should dress as a waiter. So we're going to go find a waiter's outfit. But first thing I need to do is I need to go grab the key from over here, because we need it for a door. Alright. So, the lead that we need for getting a waiter's outfit is actually talking to these guys here, or why not talking to, but earwigging them. And now we find out that we need to go to the smoking area, because there's usually a guy that just hangs out there. And of course we picked up the key earlier, and Kaiju goes, yeah, I should try this key in this door. There is another conversation where you find out where this guy dropped his key, and that's how you know to go there, but if you just go there, it's there. This Tashiro, he's another character from the Lost Judgment games. From the Judgment games, if you know him. I can't remember where he appears, but he's one of the guys. And this should finish him off if he doesn't. No! Oh my god, I didn't mean to get the triangle attack there, but that's fine. Alright. I was trying to finish him off without using any of my heat bar, because I need it for the fights coming up. Alright, so now we got our waiter's uniform. He just happened to be the same size as Kaito. So now we can just walk straight in. There's a couple of ways you can sneak into this party. They all involve getting the waiters thing, but the setup to doing it is you can do it in a few different ways. But the way I did it is the fastest way to do it. So we find out there's a commotion in the toilet, and that's what we're going to go and check out. Then we come out, and yeah, we get... Oh no, we find out the information we need, so we go to the toilet change, sorry. And then we come out, and these guys decide to attack us. So we're going to go into heat mode. And I'm just going to juggle. So juggling in this game is actually something I didn't really mention, but it's one of the most important parts of running this game is understanding how to juggle correctly. And if you do it correctly, you can do stuff like that pretty consistently. What else is this guy? Get up, please! Thank you. Then these guys come around the corner, so he gets back up, we're going to fight him again. But this time I don't have heat mode, so I need to do a little bit of stance changing. Oh my god, that guy just booted me. That guy can also do heat actions on you if you're not careful. Sorry, that's that guy, and these guys around here fighting this guy. Oh, thank you, Kaito. And there we go. Oh, I did the wrong move. That's fine. That was a really slow fight. Slow set of fights. You need them to kind of like gather around you, or it just takes forever to do that one. In the middle? Nah, I lost. Losing time to bad door, man. Bad door animations. All right, so we got to fight these two. You want to use your EX mode here. Oh my word. Get out, please. That's fine. He grabbed the other guy, which is good. Alright, so you want to do that, do that. So, here. Run through that. Right, we've got another fight coming up now. There's a bunch of dudes here. There's a couple of ways you can do this. I like to do this strat where you just go in the middle and tackle as many people as you can at once. And just kind of go nuts on them. And now there's not many of them left. I'm going to focus on this guy. Cool, that was a pretty decent fight. Alright, kind of understanding where to go and what to do is sometimes really annoying in their fight. If you don't have heat at the start of it, it can be very annoying to just get through that fight. So if you finish the fight before, kind of optimally, you have at least a bar of heat, which you can like go into EX mode, then just like deal a ton of damage to everything. So here's the final stealth of the run. Kaito decides, yeah, let's stealth past these guys. But again, I'm just going to not do that because it's slow to throw a coin and then do the takedown. So instead, we're just going to run past them and just deal with the QT animation. Alright, so around here. These, the big red squares actually draw you in a little bit, so you need to make sure that you're paying attention. Alright. I am on 1 hit point right now, so if you go into the next fight without any hit points, you will probably die because there's a guy with a gun. And if you know anything about Yakuza games, gun does equal, oh god, the tier list. There's a tier list of weapons. There's fists, swords and knives, and guns. always try and deal with gun guys first, because they just hit through everything. So now we're going to grab some singular chairs, and we're just going to go nuts with chairs. And this is where kind of chairs come into their own. I love chairs in this fight. And take out this guy. That's cool. Cool, that was actually ended up really well. Alright. Here's the second group of people. There's another guy with a couple of health bars here, but don't worry. Chairs also just as good. Alright. Also, whenever those cutscenes occur, you spawn in different positions, so you need to make sure that you... Oh, I used this... No, it's the wrong guy. It doesn't matter. There's more than enough chairs here to do what I need. So, what I'm trying to be careful of is I'm trying to be wary of the guys doing their mortal wound attacks, which that guy did. Grab the chair, please. Cool. That was an okay fight. Apart from doing the heat move on the wrong guy, that was pretty okay. Alright. So. Oh, and also the room gets restored as if you didn't have a fight in there when the game plays that cutscene at the end. Alright, so now this is actually the end of the set piece. Now this is where we're going to go and confront Sadamoto here. I'm going to try and persuade Kimochi because he appears after in the cutscene for whatever reason. So you need to try and persuade Kimochi that Sadamoto here basically caused them to commit murder, which is just what happens. He then has spiked every single drink in the event with poison, so kills everyone. And he also has a knife, so he affectionately got called Knife Daddy by the Yakuza boys. But yeah, so this is a classic enemy boss intro for Yakuza, where we get a lovely intro. Alright. Right. There's a little cut on Kaito. I think I'm in... Yeah, I should be in tank. Need to quickly change to Bruiser. Gonna do a juggle real quick. So he also spiked all of the drinks that the Kimochi and his boys are drinking, so... Cool, that was okay. Right, so luckily the QTs are consistent for this guy as well. So this one here is a double X. Right, so when enemies go into their heat mode, they actually have a little bit of armor, so you bonk off of them. But if you do this correctly, you can hit through his armor with your heavy attacks before he can do anything, and then you can start going nuts on him. And this guy has a bunch of attacks. He has one that can confuse you, and it's very annoying. Is that move right there? That was a really, really good fight. He didn't really mess me about that much there, so that was pretty solid. Right, so you would think that would be the final boss of this. It's not. We have one more fight we got to go do. So this is just some lovely cutscenes of Jin and Kaito having a little heart-to-heart. Oh, that's the first time I've done that. I do that all the time where you open up the case files because you press the wrong button. Right, so the final boss of this is we're going to go have a lovely conversation with Shirakawa. And we find out that Shirakawa here has been lifting weights to get jacked so he can punch people because he wants to protect Mikiko. But you show up and you're like, no, I'm taking Mikiko home. So now we get to punch this guy. You should get to punch this doctor from his clinic. So what I did earlier to that Igarashi guy with the sword, with the throws, it works really well on this guy if he gets up at the right timing. So, and if he long gets up like that, it's very annoying. 2, 1. Okay, cool. If he long gets up, it doesn't work, but if he short gets up like that, as long as you can hit him with your heavy attack, which is the overhead swing, everything works out. Okay, so when you get this guy to 1 hit point, he enters EX mode and fully restores his hit points. So, and now we have to basically get rid of an entire new HP bar. Oh god. I hate it when you have this. I'm trying to get rid of my repel. Because if you have repel, it makes this very hard. Okay, good. Oh, and when the QT starts at the end of this, that's when time we coming up. Okay, that was so bad. Alright, that's fine. Cool. So here's the final set of QTEs. In classic Yakuza fashion, this game ends on the final QTE, so I'll make sure I call it at the right time. First QTE is triangle, then it's square, square. And time's on this last one. In time. Yeah, so that was actually a pretty good run of this. So this was Kaito Files in Lost Judgment. So really, it's one of the nicer Yakuza categories. So the Yakuza games are known for having really, really long runs, and Lost Judgment's runs are both kind of like pretty short and really fast-paced because of how the game works. So if you're interested in learning anything about how to run any of these games, if you go on speedrun.com and go in the Discord, that like people are there, they'll help you. The notes for everything are posted everywhere on these. Shout outs to all the Yakuza boys like Froob and Tapioca and all those guys. Yeah, but that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to
yes, thank you very much for that amazing run, Rebel. I will make sure that the Council of Dragons forwards their pardon soon. We're going to go to a brief intermission, and we will be coming up next is Dawn of War Winter Assault by Merrick. See you in a few.